There we go. All right, perfect. And I am showing that it is time. So we are going to start by working our way into our pigeon. We're going to take a little bit of time to get there so we loosen up our hips. So let's start by taking our legs. Let's swing them over to the left side of your body. Some of you have done this with me in yin. We'll place our left hand on our left hip and just start to get a little bit of movement here. So we're just kind of warming up this back left hip before we stretch all the way into pigeon. Now, if you don't like pigeon, as you stretch, you can actually hold right here. This is a nice opener. Or you could come into your fore stretch where you cross the right ankle over the left knee. So just showing you that here. That's an option. Now, as you feel this hip kind of starting to loosen up a bit, what we're going to do is start to lift up off of our left hip or our right hip, right? Start to work and stretch. I got to remember that I'm mirroring you here. So I do believe that you have your right hip forward, your left hip back, and then just start to kind of pull back through the left. My shoulders are squared with my hips, and then maybe I come down onto my elbows. Next, you can lay all the way down if you like, or you can come into the fore stretch. The more you kind of pull up off of your right hip, the deeper that stretch is going to get into the right hip. So it doesn't really matter which side you're doing, right? So we'll do the other side in a moment. Just enjoy a few breaths here. Take some nice breaths. So I do like to hold the poses, the stretches, about a minute-ish, give or take. And then from here, you have a couple of options. We can take our long leg that's in front, bend the knee, lift our chest up a little bit, reach back with the same arm. So if it's your left leg back, left arm reaches back and pull in. If you don't like this, you could take this on your side. Right? Or you can also, if you didn't like either one of those, you could come up into your hip flexor stretch here. Right? So we come up more into that lunge position. So we've got several options. One more breaths. And then gently release. Now set into your right hip so you can come out of that. So we'll swing the legs around to the right. And we'll start with that little right hip mobility. So just a little bit of movement here. I like to think of it as kind of oiling up the joint here. Just a little bit of movement, juicing up the joint. Right? And then you just have the same options on this side. You can come into the fore stretch. You can kind of just hold here if you like, or we'll start to lengthen the leg long, pull ourselves more into the pigeon. Take your time, wiggle your right leg long back behind you, lift up off your left hip so shoulders are square with the hips, and then maybe come down into your hip. Perfect. See who else has joined us. Welcome, Lindsay B, Cece, Lori, Amanda. Jessica's made it in. Jenny, Darlene, Kathy, Rick, Heather, Megan, Slavka. People moved around on my screen. I lost somebody there. She went Evelyn. Welcome. So I do apologize if I missed welcoming you by name. Sometimes as people join, it moves around on my screen and then I miss somebody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody doing part of the 6-month challenge. You see some of you logged in with your team name. From here, we'll start to lift our chest up, bend the back knee, which if you kind of did the same side as your right knee, you can reach for it. You don't have to. You can also lay onto your side or come more into that lunge. There are lots of options here. welcome, Alexandra. So if you are part of the 6-month challenge, the class of the week this week is 30-30. So try to attend a live 30-30 or catch an on demand. Each week we'll have a new class of the week, just a nice way to get to try to take all the various classes at VFit. And of course, if you're not doing the 6-month challenge, you're still welcome to come to each and every class. But it is awesome to try some classes that maybe you don't come to, not necessarily because you don't think you'll like the class, it just doesn't fit your time. So maybe you try an on demand. So I kind of challenge everybody throughout this second half of the year. See if you can't catch every class, even if it's an on demand, give it all a try. And then we'll release out here, come on around onto our bottom. We'll take our legs long. It's a stretch down the back of the legs. Taking yourself out, flex your feet, walk your hands forward. Take your time. My low back's a little tight, so that kind of stops me. So I just want to take a moment, enjoy as I ease into the stretch. Welcome, Connie. And then you can soften the back of the neck, allow the forehead to fall. Two or three more breaths wherever you are. And we'll make our way up. So a couple of options coming up: child's pose, puppy pose, or pushing back off the wall. So I'll kind of show you all of them just in case. So child's pose, right? We step back on our heels. We can reach our arms forward. Puppy pose is similar, but leaving the bottom up in the air can sometimes take that through a little deeper stretch. Some people just like the way it feels better. And then of course you could like have a chair or a table. You could be standing, kind of pressing back. What we're trying to do is just lengthen through the arms, stretch out around the armpit, the shoulder blades. To whichever of those positions. You could do a down dog as well. Still gets the stretch, just a little bit more work. Two or three more breaths. And then slowly come on up to kneeling. A little bit more of a stretch through our chest. If kneeling bothers your knees, feel free to stand up or come into any position. You can reach around, interlace your fingers, pull and open your chest. If you don't like the interlacing, just opening the arms. Lift the heart. So my gaze stays straight ahead. I'm not letting my head fall back, but I'm lifting the chest. I like to sometimes then bend the elbows and just bring my fist right into my low back. Supports my arch a little bit more. And I just think about pulling the elbows towards each other so that you're getting all this nice opening right through the front of the chest. Release, bring your right arm across the body just for a short counter stretch. A gentle pull. And switch that out the other way. Let me see. Hold it right there. I'm just checking the messages. Okay. Yeah. So if you're doing the 6 months challenge, but you're not on Facebook, I know for are you on my team, Darlene? I'm still trying to learn everyone on my team. I'm Team Confidence this month. I am sending out emails and maybe I forgot to put it in the email, but yes, there's about 3 or 4 people on Team Confidence not on Facebook. So I will make sure to send another email. I thought I put it in the last one I sent, but in the beginning, there's so much I'm sending out, I might've forgot to say that. So the team class for this week, if you are part of the 6 month challenge, is 30-30. And again, if you're on Team Confidence, I'll send that out to you by email. And release, shrug those shoulders out a little bit. Nice. So let's come into some inner thigh stretching. Going into our straddle. Yeah, it's always a little crazy in the beginning trying to figure out. And I know I posted it on Facebook and I probably didn't realize who was on Facebook, who wasn't yet. So if you are doing part of the 6 month challenge and you're not on Facebook, that's totally fine. Just make sure to let your coach know that. And I know Team Confidence, y'all have been letting me know that. Just so I'll be sure to get you that information. And then I'm passing that information on because you'll rotate coaches. So I'll make sure to pass that information on to whoever your next coach is, because we don't want to leave anybody out that's not on Facebook. Lengthen through the inner thighs. If you don't like straddle, you can always do a butterfly here. Two or three more breaths. And then come on out. I'm going to bring you down for a gentle spinal twist. If you don't want to lay on your back for a spinal twist, you can always take this seated spinal twist where you would say take your right leg over your left and hug in here. If you're good with coming to your back, we're kind of going to do the same thing. We'll lengthen our right leg long, hug our left knee into our chest, and then bring our left knee over. But I know some of you might be at work, right? You might not want to lay down. So you can take that seated twist, and maybe you just prefer the seated twist. So that's completely okay. If you're on your back, I can also straighten this top leg. I want a little deeper twist. So again, get some stretching through the chest if you're on your back. It's a little through the outer thigh. If you're in the seated twist, it gets a lot more through the outer thigh and glute. But all of it gets a nice twist through the spine. And then we'll bend that knee in, come onto your back if you're on your back. If not, just kind of come out of your twist. Take a moment, readjust. And then I can lengthen my opposite leg straight, like the right knee in and twist the other direction. Okay, my top leg can stay bent or I can straighten it. We'll take our final minute here. Got a few extra minutes in your day, I always like to invite people to give themselves the gift of a little shavasana or a little just kind of set and breathe, meditation, mindfulness. Always be super, super fabulous. Or either kind of midday for West Coasters, mid-afternoon for East Coasters. So always a great time. Take a couple of minutes, check in. Your thoughts, your feelings, your breath. However, if you do need to carry on about your day, and you are on your back, give yourself a moment, right? Try not to just spring up and roll onto one side and gently press up. Maybe take a little bit of just easy movement through the spine, just allowing everything to find its way back into neutral. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will be back up tomorrow, Tabata Bardio. Have a fabulous afternoon. Bye, everybody.